Hi there folks, welcome to Dunsey's Guitar World 2. Some more heavy metal today, a guitar lesson for a Saxon song from the first album, the self-titled album Saxon, released way back in 1979, can you believe that? Where were you in 79 when the dam began to burst? So this is called Backs to the Wall. It is like most of Saxon tunings in E flat. So let's go on with this. So there's a lot of riffs in this, it's not too difficult, it's more, I don't know, it's more kind of putting it all together and getting it quite smooth, I think. It's possibly the difficult thing. We're doing a lot of palm muting, heavy palm muting with the right hand. So we're doing a lot of that in this song. We're kind of bouncing, if that makes sense. We're kind of bouncing between a palm mute and then the chord. So there's a pedal tone on the A string. So what I'll do is I'll play it first. This is the intro riff. So that is the main riff, changing my position here. So it's always a pedal tone going back to the A. So it's A, 4th fret of the D and G, and then 5 of the D and G. We're kind of bouncing off the open A string, if that makes sense. I'll do it slowly and then I'll zoom in a bit. So I'll change position of the camera here. So really the only chords we're playing is just the 4th fret and 5th fret of the D and G, kind of going back to like the A. And if you watch my pick and hand, if I can focus on that, it was difficult doing that. So that is the opening riff, the main riff in the verses. So after we've done that, we do the power chord C and then D. So C is 3A, 5D, D is 5A, 7D. So all together, the opening riff. And again. And then we're into the verse. So the verse is just an A chord and then we're dampening the string. So it goes. So it's, and then we're not actually playing a note, we're just dampening the strings. And then this run, so it's 3 of the A string, D and G open, 2 of the A string, D and G open. Now, I think he's playing a G chord, but I think what they're doing here is they're coming back up on the open G and D strings. So it is like a G chord, but they're only really playing those. So slowly it would go. So I'll change the camera angle, see if that makes sense to you. So it's, the notes we're playing are 3, 2 on the A string, and then going over to D and G. D and G open, which I play coming back up. Back to the A. And it goes by so quickly. I mean, you could play the G instead of playing the D and G and D strings open. You could play this. Back to the A. Whichever you find easier, you know. That's how I teach guitar. Do what you find easiest that sounds the best. So that's the 2 ways I would play the verse. So it's the A and then the dampening. and then either this or so instead of playing G and D, we're playing the 3rd fret of the bottom E string to give us a G note. Either way, I think it sounds okay, and if you're in the rehearsal room with a band, I think you can play either of those and it will sound fine. Whichever one you find easiest to play is the one that I would go with. So it's either either one of those. So that is the verse. Now the chorus goes like this. It's just all power chords. So what that is, E, open E string, 2nd fret of A, up to G, 3 of E, 5 of A, up to A, which is 5 of E, 7 of A. And then a D power chord, 5 of A, 7 of D, to the E power chord, which is 7 of A, 9 of D. So all together, first time. So the second one is slightly different, just plays the E chord once at the end. So that whole chorus slowly goes. And then we go back into a verse part for 4 bars, I think it is. Now there's a solo over that, and then we move, the rhythm guitar moves up to B. I'm not doing any of the lead work. I should have said the expectation level here is I'm just doing all the chords in this song, and this is just how I hear it. I'm not saying this is how it's played on the album. So we do the part in A with the solo over the top. Move up to B. And then this run, 5, 4 of the A string to open A. And then it stops on the A and we're back in to the main riff. And then another verse. There's that whole thing twice, back to a chorus. And then a middle break, which is this run down again, just the 3, 2 on the A string, but we go to an F chord at the end of it. It's quite tricky doing that actually. Slide up to G power chord. Second one goes. So that's probably the trickiest bit in the whole song. Is getting that timing right. So it plays the same thing, but the second F to G is a real sort of stop again. You know, listen to the tune and you'll get it. So it goes. And then the fourth one We go to an A sharp power chord, and that's when the chunkiness starts. So I'll play that whole part slowly. I hope you can see my fingers, but the only notes I'm really playing on the A string are just 2, 3 to open, and then F to G. So that's just going between an A sharp power chord, 1 of A, 3 of D, up to a C power chord, 3 of A, 5 of D, and heavy palm muting. So it does those palm muted chords for quite some time. Then we stop the palm muting and just play the chords. So again, just the same chords, play through that a few times, and then we go into the part where Biff actually sings Backs to the Wall. So we're playing this A chord, so it's open A string, and then 7 of D, 6 of G, 5 of B. You can play 5 of E as well if you want. So we're playing that. And then we move all the notes down to G, but I think he's still hitting the A, open A string as well. So it goes. And then a D5, just a D chord, to A. And then we're back to the main riff again. And then another verse, another chorus, and so on again. Just put the album on, get it on Spotify if you have it on vinyl or CD. Get on and play along with it. So we're in E flat, remember, and you know my expectation level there was that's how I think it goes. I'm not saying that is definitely how it does go. As ever folks, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you heavy metal guitar lessons on Dunsi's Guitar World 2. Cheers for now.